Go.
You're on.
Hello, Doris. Doris,
Yeah.
say something.
Oh,
You're
okay.
on.
Am I on?
You're on.
Okay, Facebook family and friends, you see where I am today, but welcome to the Doris Hall James Indie Show. I'm glad that you had time, you took the time out to join us tonight. We have a very, very special guest, and my guests are Double Exposure, and they've been on the music scene for a very long time, and I want to welcome you. I won't say how long. I'll let you say that, okay?
I won't.
So welcome.
It's been a long time.
It's been a while.
Okay, all right.
I don't know what they're talking about.
So let's start our interview by just introducing ourselves.
I'm Joe Harris.
I'm Leonard Butch Davis.
And I'm Kenny Pitt, one of the newest members of Double Exposure.
And
Okay.
there's one guy who's not here, Lorenzo Bell. He couldn't make it tonight.
Okay. Now, how long have you guys been together? Now, you two are the original members, right?
Yes,
So
yeah.
now, how long have you two been together?
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Literally?
Yeah. You're not gonna tell me?
Let's see. Do the math. 1961.
That's when the group was
November
formed, right?
1961.
That's
Sherwood
a
Recreation
long-
Center.
Yep.
57 years, I guess?
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, this past
Isn't-
November
that's
was
really
57
great,
years.
though. That's great. You know, that's great.
Yeah.
And how did you meet?
Singing, just on the block, singing. We were all used to get together at the recreation center. It was like a thing back then where everybody tried to jump in and sing something. A whole bunch of
Everybody
guys
was
were trying
singing,
to
right?
do
That'll do up
but the guys who could sing kind of sought each other out, and you kind of
Okay.
process of elimination.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the ones who could really say, "Hey man, look here, when them guys get out of here, look, me and you just go, we're gonna hook this up." You know what I mean?
Okay.
I remember exactly when I joined the group. Back in the day, there was a PAL, 55th and Pine,
Yeah.
and I used to lead the PAL. I used to box in the gym, and I used to walk down 56th Street, and I would hear Joe and a bunch of other guys singing, and so when I walked up the steps, and I think they were singing. Charlie might have been singing either one of Lil Anthony Imperial's songs.
Yeah.
And what happened? I just joined in harmony. Now, keep in mind, I was singing with Roland and Carl before that, and I think
Okay.
that was probably one of the times where things were starting to slow down, and you know, and I was still active singing. And when Joe heard me sing, Joe grabbed me like that. And he said, "Come on, man, come on over here," and I started singing.
Okay.
And that's one of the things that formed the collaboration with Joe and Donald, Charlie, and a few other guys and myself, and that's how it started
Okay.
with me.
Okay. So individually, you were kind of doing things on your own.
Oh
Is
yeah, I
that
was
right?
singing with Roland Chambers and Carl Chambers with the
Oh,
reality.
tell me about that experience.
Well, I was 11, and I first lived in South Philadelphia, and Carl and Roland lived around the corner from me, which I lived on Fernon. They lived on Fernon Street. I lived on Mountain Street. And so there was, during that time, it was the doo-wop era. And so, you know, guys would huddle around on the corners and try to sing. And Roland was one of the guys that was singing, and plus he used to always have the guitar with him.
Okay.
And then he would give us notes, and we started singing notes, and that's how our relationship with Roland and Carl and I started. I don't even remember when I met them. I always knew them.
You always
I
knew.
always knew them.
Yeah.
And we were kids. I was in elementary school, and Roland would sit on the stoop on the steps and play his acoustic guitar, and we would hover around Roland, and Roland would give us notes, and we started singing.
Okay.
Roland Chambers, Carl Chambers, Lonnie Roberts, Gene Miller, and myself.
That was great.
That's how it started.
That's how it started. And how about you, Joe? How did you singing individually or?
Well, I used to don't mess around, but I was inspired as a kid. My aunt and my cousins used to take me with them to the Uptown
Oh, I
back
love
in the
it.
day.
I love
I
it.
was a little kid,
Yeah.
and I used to watch and study the groups. I fell in love with the idea of putting a group together and singing. And one of the main groups that really inspired me was the Flamingos.
Oh, get out of here.
I was a
Yeah.
Flamingos fan. I used to study, especially their harmony, especially. And I remember one night they took me to one of the later shows. You know, the later shows had more of the
The midnight
adult
show.
audience,
Yeah.
more or less,
Oh, wow.
and the groups would they could stretch out a little bit, you know, with an adult audience. And I never forget, Tommy Hunt was singing.
Oh, I'm only human.
No, it wasn't.
No?
No, it was before
Everybody
that.
Got Home But Me.
Everybody's got a
Yeah,
home but me. That was
Oh,
the
I
song.
remember that.
That was the song the Flamingos was singing. I seen a woman faint and another one throw her underwear up on the stage. At that point, I said, "I'm going to be a singer." I was convinced.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
And Kenny, what inspired you?
Well, I missed the doo-wop era. I wasn't around during that time period. However, I was always influenced by music. I sang in Beulah Baptist Church. That's where I grew up.
Beulah.
So I sang there. Then I formed a group. I formed a group in elementary school with Lawrence Thor and Eric Williams. We got in trouble in the auditorium for singing during an assembly program. That was the end of the group. And fast forward to college, I formed another group. I graduated. So fast forward, and after that, I was in another group called Three, Zamu Sankofa and Ramona Hunter. And oddly enough, although I missed the doo-wop era, it was a song called "Here's a Heart" by the Diplomats.
Oh, I remember that song.
And my sister had the record, and that made me want to be a singer. That song, you know, it's nothing to even play on the radio now, but it's something about that song. I don't know
Yeah,
what
I
it
remember
was.
that song.
Do you ever regret your decision?
No.
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 Okay.
No.
So it's a good decision you made.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
It's allowed this business. I've been able to do things that I would have never ever been able to do as a regular everyday working man. I mean, I've been an everyday working man. I ain't knocking it. I've had to do other things to pay the bills during the lean times, but the travel, the places you've been, the people you've met, the experience,
Yes.
it's
Yes,
invaluable.
yes.
You know?
Yes.
You know, travel in itself is an education.
It is. It truly is. So many intangibles, you know, the travel that you is here when you come back, you know.
And all the people you meet.
All the people we
you
met.
meet
yeah.
people all around the world. You can just you just meet so many people.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
that's really great. Now, when you start, let's go back because I want to ask something about when you formed the group in 1961. Who were the original members?
Whoa, wow.
Let's
As
talk
we
about that.
narrowed it out, it wound up first, after getting rid of a whole bunch of guys back and forth. It was myself, Charlie, a fella named Terry Zizer,
Terry Sizer,
and
Donald Andrews.
And Donald Andrews. Then, shortly after, Butch. So it was the five of us.
Okay.
There was a break in between of military service, and then when we put it back together, we couldn't find Terry, so Donald, Butch, Charlie, and myself continued. Donald left the group. We had another fella for a minute, Ronnie. Then after that, Jimmy. We got Jimmy in the group. And that was, wow, that was about
71, 72.
I want to say 1971, end of 71, when Jimmy really officially joined the group. I hadn't met him, but, you know, officially joined the group. And that's been the unit. That was the unit up until 2016.
Until Jimmy passed.
Jimmy passed.
Jimmy passed.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, how did you feel about his loss?
You lost a family
Lost.
member.
Yes.
You
He
lost
lost
a
a family
family.
member.
You lost a brother.
Okay.
That's it. You lost a family member.
And when Jimmy left us, then what effect did that have on the band?
Well,
On the group?
Yeah,
So,
on the group.
we grieved for a moment, and I asked Joe after the funeral. I said, "Man, what do you want to do?" He said, "We want to keep on going."
Mm-hmm.
That's what he said, right?
that's right. We
I
gotta
asked
keep
him, "Man,
this
what you
thing
want to do,
going."
man?" He said, "Let's keep it going." And so what Joe did Joe just started researching. He started looking for replacements, you know.
Okay.
And actually, he brought the replacements there, and one of the things that one of the songwriters named Junie Drinks had a song for us, and I asked him what he thought of Lorenzo's voice, and he said, "For what y'all doing, I like it." And I said, Joe brought him, so he agreed with Joe. He agreed with Joe, and also Joe looked up Kenny.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't had anything to do with that. Joe did it both of them.
What I did, looking back, really over the years, there's a formula. Everybody in the group contributed a sound. Everybody, each individual had a certain sound, a certain range. We lost Jimmy. Charlie was unable to perform anymore, so it was replacing those ranges. You needed two people with similar ranges. Your sound was going to be a little different because you're dealing with different individuals. You're never going to have the exact same sound, but you wanted it as close as possible.
It's the same sound.
But you started out with looking for people with the ranges. You wanted to replace the range ability first. And then from there, it was character.
You know, I'm going to add to that. Another thing that you have to do when you trying to match your old sound, having the range is good. But I think what's important to have a sound that's pleasing.
Okay.
You know, a guy can have a good voice, a good range, and you hear a whole lot of different tones of different singers. But to me, if the sound is pleasing,
Pleasing to the ear.
pleasing to the ear.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily how high you sing.
Yeah.
It's not how low you sing. It's how, if you can deliver this sound in a good tone, and you and imagine if one records and they hear a voice, it has to be pleasing to it, with a melody,
Okay. I
with
know
a
that.
melody, with a melody,
Yeah.
and that works.
They're not joking either. I didn't just walk in.
Okay. Now, so you're still in contact with Charlie.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And well, a question I always wondered was Jimmy the lead singer, the main lead singer?
Well,
Was
Jimmy was probably recognized as a lead
Recognized.
singer only because you hear Jimmy's voice on the biggest hits.
Right, right.
Okay.
But
You know, and there was a plan. Norman Harris was our producer.
He had a great producer.
We go
Yes,
go back to those Chitlin Circuit days with Norman. Norman knew the group.
yeah.
And that's a whole nother story how we
That's
hooked
another
up.
story,
But
yeah.
anyway, Norman's plan was to record and have everybody lead a hit.
Oh.
That was the
That was his
goal.
plan.
He wanted each one of us to do lead on a hit.
Okay.
For what we had to do first to get out the box, and with some of the material that was presented, Jimmy's voice fitted best.
That time.
So that's why we used Jimmy. Well, fine. I had no issue with that. Plus, I mean, Jimmy was a heck of a
He's
singer.
a very good singer.
Very
good
good.
singer.
I mean,
Very
Jimmy was a
good
bad
singer.
boy.
Very
I mean,
good
you
singer.
listen to the music, you hear him, you know. After we recorded the first album, there was some other problems with some people that we had as managers and handling business, and we ran into some issues. Bottom line, we caught them stealing money. We had to take a break to straighten it all out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the bottom. That's what caused the delay and the break in between. Then going into the second album, we had to kind of pick up because that caused us to lose some momentum.
But you know, Joe, that happens a lot.
A lot of artists.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of artists.
But to have the strength to come back.
The strength to come back.
One of the things
Sometimes it ruins
it
the
does.
artist.
I tell you something else I learned from this whole journey. You cannot make a good song, an average song, and put great arrangements on it and make it a good song. It has to be a good song.
Yeah, it has to be a good song.
It has to be a good song.
You got to start up. It has to
Good
be
song. You
from
cannot.
the beginning. Everything else is added, like Which said. That's right.
So we've learned that, you know, through this journey. You know, our first album was a smash. As a matter of fact, 10% took off so fast that the record company wasn't even ready for it because it took off so fast. Boom! And we had a good production team. And I just think that we recorded the second album, the third album, which I think the songs weren't as good on the second album as it was the first.
But
in
you
my
had
opinion.
you had 3 albums out.
Yes,
Three
yeah.
albums.
Yes.
And I'm gonna take a second, and they can see some of it. I hold it on the camera. That the double exposure locker room. Which one was this?
That was the
That was
last
the
album.
third one.
This
That was the
was-
third album.
This was the third album.
That's the one where I got the hots.
Yeah, I got the house for you.
That's the song I like.
You
Okay.
can find pictures of those on
Online.
well, on YouTube. Yeah,
Okay.
YouTube, on Facebook, probably. Yeah.
And then
And I
we
have
had,
both of those albums.
and then this
That was the
album.
second.
Foreplay album.
This was the second one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
There's a cut on that second album called Perfect Lover, and South Soul was a dance oriented. When we didn't understand it at the time, but it was a dance oriented record company, disco era, and so our theme, which you realize, was because we can throw down some ballads. We can throw down some ballads.
I'm going
You
to
know,
talk to you about that
Yeah,
too.
we can throw down. And if you listen to some things on our second album, even our first album, if they were to highlight the ballads, they were as good as any of the ones that were hits from our rivals or our comrades. So at any rate, so that's one of the things we're doing now with our new single that's going to come out in March, hopefully in March, around
Okay,
March.
new single.
It's a dance record. It's because
Okay.
that's our theme. Our theme. And if we could,
It's a fast.
it's a fast record.
Correct.
It's a
Okay.
fast record.
Okay.
If we can generate interest again, doing that, and then eventually we'll start doing ballads again because we can still sing ballads.
Yeah, I know you can.
Sing
I know
ballads.
you can.
Now,
Let's-
sometimes there are ballads in the live show, too.
Yeah, we
you,
do.
you
So-
put them in the live show.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Okay.
people will know.
Let's take a minute and let's say hi to our Facebook family that join in.
Okay.
Okay, Regina, how you doing? Beverly, how you doing, Beverly? Terry Grant, hi Terry.
Hey, Terry.
Terry will join us on on January 31st. He will
Okay.
have his interview. He'll be
Okay.
here at 8 o'clock.
All right.
Okay. Terry and I worked together for a long time, just like you and I. So I'm glad that he will be here. Kim Miller from Instant Funk.
Hey, Kim.
And he
Oh,
told
yeah,
me to tell
yeah.
you hello.
Hey, Kim.
Okay. Allie Hackett.
Allie
Hi,
Hackett.
Allie. Okay. And then we go to your next door neighbor, Denise.
Denise.
Patricia Atkins.
Really? Hey, Denise.
Okay. Then we go to Michael, Mr. Excitement Jacob.
Oh, really?
Hi, Michael.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, he's a
And
promoter.
Yep.
And
Is he a
just did
promoter?
Yeah, we
We
just did a show
with
with
him.
him at Lehman
Okay.
College.
Okay.
That was a great show, too.
It was a good show.
Good job, Mike. Good job,
Okay.
man.
Awesome time.
My longtime friend, my cousin Jessica Lorraine Stanley.
Hey, Jess.
And then we go to Michael again, Pat again, and my longtime friend, Butch Blade Ingram.
Oh, hey, man.
Okay, okay. Butch works very hard, and we're putting some things together now for Fat Larry's
Where do
band.
we see
Okay.
Butch?
Okay.
Where do we see him?
And then we go
Jersey.
to
It was Jersey.
Jersey.
Yeah, it was
I don't even know
Jersey.
him, but I knew who he was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we thank all of you for joining in. Now, a question I want to ask: how did you arrange your family life and your music career, where it wouldn't interfere? Your family life wouldn't, or your music career wouldn't interfere with your family.
Back
life?
then or now?
Well, take your choice. How you want to say? I mean,
Well, back then I
Back
wasn't
then.
married.
okay.
I wasn't married.
Okay.
So-
Okay. So you weren't married. So
No, I
you out
wasn't
of that.
married. Yeah.
Be honest, back then I had just broke up from my first wife. It had nothing to do with the music, but she did me a favor. Honest to God, after we broke up, I started doing good.
When they was impressed about the panties being thrown up.
Yeah.
The year after, honest, the year we broke up, by the end of that year, we had signed our deal with South Soul. Everything good started happening for me. I don't mean to be sound chauvinist or negative or anything.
Looking for her to chime in at any moment.
Hey Joe, hey Doris, hey Joe, is that when African Bump came on. Dun, 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 dun. You said, see.
We were in. Well, I'm giving out personal stuff. But the truth, there was some issues going on about, the effort that I was making with the group and certain things. It was like, oh, you ain't gonna get nowhere. You ain't gonna be nothing but a song and dance man. But I mean, I worked every day and everything, but that argument, we were in the middle of an argument when a song that we had recorded.
Okay.
Matter of fact, it was Love's Creeping Up on Me. We were on Stax then. We had that on Stax. In the middle of the argument on WDAS radio, the record comes on in the middle of the argument. Listen to that. Hear that? Hear that? See that? Now leave me alone.
Perfect timing.
Perfect timing. Lord was on my Lord knew.
So now, how are you managing it now?
Well, no issues. Issues. For me personally, I guess if there is any issue, I try to resolve it by taking my wife with me to shows.
Yeah.
I let her, because honestly, there's been some old friends that have came out the woodwork. But hey, look, this is my wife. I make sure I keep everything on up and up. I don't want no trouble. I don't want no hassle.
That's
but
good.
You're not doing all the crazy stuff you used to do.
And Doris,
you're not doing that. You've outgrown.
When we were younger, you had a lot of fun. But for me, this is business.
Right.
This is strictly business for me. I think that we have the ability to go where I think we can go, and we have enough knowledge to help direct us with the help of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Amen.
And so I don't do anything without Him, and I think we can do it. But for me, it's business.
Yeah.
All that other foolishness is I don't deal with that crazy business.
Yeah, and I think that when you're younger, and your spouse, whether the spouse is a male or female, you should go with them.
Yes.
You need to go and just go. Because
when it's possible. Sometimes logistically it's not possible.
Sometimes it's not possible. But when you're doing gigs like right in the vicinity or the local area, get up and go. I know I did. You have to protect your interests. You have to get up and you got to go.
The one thing, just say I try to explain, give a perfect example. Let's say a promoter sends a limo to pick you up. He wants to bring you to the gig. Or the record company sending a limo, pick you up. Okay, we're going to take you to the gig. After that, we have a photo shoot here. Then after that, we're going to go to this radio station. We're going to do interviews. We're going to this TV station. We're going to do interviews, such and such and such and such. They're sending that for you. Yeah, it looks great. Looks like it's a big party. It's a good time. But it's business.
Right.
This is what's happening with the business. This is business. Baby, I can't take you, but this is business. You understand? They sent it. They're accommodating 4 people, 4 individuals for a purpose. This is about making money.
And that's why
it's business.
And that's what it comes down to.
I can't. Sometimes when it's logistically
possible.
possible.
You're talking about the illusion of 4 young men, good-looking young men out there promoting themselves.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Well, I'm sure.
Or they promote, or they send you somewhere to promote yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
And they set it up for you. So. But if they didn't think, first of all, you have to be a sellable commodity in order for them to be interested in you. And if you're not that, they're not going to be interested in you.
Right.
Simple as that. It's business.
Okay.
But you have to know when and where.
You have to know when and where.
I'm just listening and learning.
When you and I understand that sometimes it's too much. Like sometimes it's too much for me to go with Larry to all those different things. But I wasn't the type of person who wanted to go anyway. But when he had something locally, I was always there. Or in Jersey.
New York.
New York.
Here's a perfect example. Labor Day weekend. We were booked for a private show in North Jersey. Now, we had no idea what it was about or anything. And matter of fact, the first word was just us, you can't bring anybody. Then we got the word later on well, you can bring your wives. Come to find out what it was this rich millionaire dude has this party every
In
year.
September, this past.
And we were there, we opened for the Jacksons.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the way the place was laid out, they sent a car to pick us up. Okay, us, our wives, we all went up. They put us all up in a hotel, nice resort hotel right on the beach.
Mm.
The wives had access to transportation to the gig. We had to leave and go do a sound check. They took care of the wives. We did the show. Everybody hung out, fed everybody. We went
was
back
good.
after the gig, went back to the hotel.
It reminded me of The Godfather. Remember when
Okay.
when they had that birthday party, the party out, it was just like that. I mean, they had tents and everything, food. So it was gorgeous. It was great. Wasn't
More
it?
food
But
than
that
I've
was
ever
a
seen.
situation where
More food.
you were able to bring your
I
spouse.
understand.
And it was a great event. Plus, they enjoyed themselves.
Yes.
The whole everything was first class, top notch. They paid for everything.
Top notch, man. That's the way to
Okay.
go. That's the way to go.
And the point is, you want to get to that point where you're doing gigs like that, or you can afford to do it yourself. If you got the money, you call. Whoever got the money calls the shots. That's the bottom line. That's the way this business is.
Let's talk a little bit about the songs. Are you songwriters? Do any of you write?
I'm not a songwriter. No.
I have written
Okay.
some. I haven't sat down and written anything in a long time. I have some things that I did record. Nothing ever happened with it, but I still got my masters though. I still
Okay.
got them there sitting back. Maybe one of these days, maybe I can do something with them.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm in
that's
that,
your
I'm in
whole
that same
world,
boat. I've written some songs. They're mastered. They're done. And some people have heard them. Most have not.
Well, listen, Kenny, have you tried to do anything with them?
I did with another
Okay.
group I sang with. I told you 3. I sang with them. We did something with it, and we wanted to do some different things. So we kind of like did it and kind of put it away. But it doesn't mean I can't pull it back out again.
That's right.
There you go,
'cause,
okay.
And
you know,
share it again.
There you
sometimes it's not the right time.
Right.
Right,
That's
right.
right.
The right
Exactly.
time
go.
will
A lot
come.
of timing.
You know,
Right.
I miss a
but
lot.
great songs are timeless, and you know. So
Well,
we'll
who's
see.
writing your material? Who was writing your material at that time? If you guys weren't writing,
At that time, all the Philly clique.
Wonderful.
such as
You had Norman, Bruce Hawes, Bruce Gray,
Bruce.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bunny Sigler,
Bunny Sigler, Phil Hurd,
Phil,
Ron Tyson also.
Ron Tyson,
Ron
Ron
Tyson,
Tyson.
I thought you
Conway.
said Mike Tyson.
Oh no, Ron Tyson.
Conway,
Conway.
Ron Curse.
Ron Curse.
Dennis
yeah.
Harris. Did he write anything?
Not
Norman.
back then. No, Dennis didn't write with him. Dennis played with us
He played.
Yeah.
Okay.
for a while, yeah, but Al Felder,
Al Felder.
Oh, Al.
Conway.
Mhm.
Matter of fact, they wrote the first 2 hits. First 3 hit 10%, My Love Is Free, and Every Man.
Yeah.
Conway and Allen.
Well, tell me about 10%. What was the meaning behind that?
10% of
This is
something.
the
beats
story, I
100%.
should say. Tell
Well,
me about the
actually,
story.
honestly, we never really knew the story. The one thing that we did find out was they had a song that they believed in, and that song originally was for somebody else. To this day, we don't know who. When we went-
either the Dells or the OJs, one of the two.
But make a long story short, when we went to the audition,
Mm-hmm.
and they tried the song on us, and they loved the way we did it, they made the decision that y'all gonna do this song. Case closed.
Yep.
You don't have no issue with that.
So what was the substance of 10%? I mean, tell me some of the lyrics in it.
It was just a driving song.
A driving.
I
song.
only
That-
see you maybe once or twice a week. You make it worth my while. You treat me like a king.
Okay.
I cherish any time that I can spend with you. Just say the word and I'll do anything that you ask me
Oh,
to.
wow.
He sprung.
You know what?
10% of something.
And,
10%.
and also keep in
Okay.
mind that when
All right.
because South Soul was a disco-oriented recording company, if you remember the bass line, it was driving.
Okay.
Dun, 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 dun. And it kept you on the floor, you know. I remember Al was, I remember like it was yesterday.
It's amazing.
Come on, man.
You know, I used to hear that song on the radio. I knew Double Exposure. I've known them. They're friends with my sister.
Okay.
So I knew them
Okay.
when I was a kid. And I knew they sang. When I saw them on Soul Train, I was like, you know. But 10%, I didn't know you guys sang 10%. I thought the song was called "Let's Get In Something," and I went looking for the record. I could never find it. Nobody knew what I was talking about. And then one day, my sister gave me the album, and I was like, "What?"
Yep.
So
How about Love's Creeping Up on Me? Tell me a little bit about that tune.
That was a song that was given to us by LeBaron Taylor.
From Stax Records.
LeBaron actually had a production deal and signed us to Stax. That song was released, I want to say it was 71, 72. Anyway, they liked us, and we were in the process of recording an album for Stax. There's a song that Norman Harris and Al Felder did called I Forgot to Come
I
In.
Forgot to Come In.
Bunny and
That was
Phil
good.
did 3 songs, yeah. I Forgot to Come
Come In,
In.
yeah.
No, I Forgot to Come In. Keep a Light Burning in the Window, Levada, and
yeah.
Stick Like Glue.
Yeah.
And we were in the process of doing the album when Stax had their financial problems and when they, broke up and fell apart. So that knocked the bottom out of that, and so we had to start over.
Yeah.
Start over.
Start over. yeah.
Okay. Now, how about the African Bump? Tell me about that one.
Jesse James.
Yeah,
Jesse
Jesse
James.
James, yes.
Remember
Believe
the
Me,
record Hitch
Baby?
It to the Horse
But Cliff Nobles, Hitch It to the Horse.
and Boogaloo Down Broadway?
Oh, I
with
remember that.
Fantastic Johnny C.
Yeah.
Johnny C.
I remember that
Yeah, he
one.
produced those 2
Yeah.
hits. Yeah, he used to have a studio up there on Cheltenham Avenue.
Yeah.
We're up at Cheltenham and
Yeah. Just below, I don't know the name of the street.
West
just
of
below.
Broad Street there. I forgot that, but that's where we recorded at. African Bump. And the flip side was called Hitman.
Yeah.
So African Bump was a fast
That's a-
song?
It was
It's
up there,
up-tempo.
up-tempo song,
Up-tempo.
yes. It's on,
Okay.
you can find it on YouTube.
Okay.
You can find that on YouTube.
no, it's not my interview. Do you guys still have copies of these records?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
What was your favorite song that you recorded? I mean, what was one of your favorite songs?
I
Come on,
don't,
guys.
I'm
You
thinking.
thinking?
I'm thinking.
I didn't
mine,
record this with them, but I like "Give My Love Away."
Give My Love Away.
hmm
Okay.
But I also love "My Love Is Free" too.
Yeah.
All right.
Mine was one on the 3rd album called Can We Be in Love?
Were you in love
Who's
at that
off?
time?
I don't recall.
You better do some math.
Okay. How about you?
Well, we had a lot of good ones. What's the name of that song? Just Can't Say Hello.
Yeah,
Bruce,
Just
Bruce
Can't Say
Montana wrote that
Uh-huh.
song, and someone else rhymed something. It was a beautiful ballad. Beautiful ballad. And matter of fact, it was a pop song, and I didn't appreciate it at the time we recorded it.
Mm-hmm.
But later I realized how melodic the song was, and it was a powerful song. What's the name of the song I said it was?
Just Can't Say
Just Can't Say
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah,
There's
Vince
so
Montana.
many. I have so many songs in my head. Just Can't Say Hello.
On that note, that song, when that album, first album was released and that song came out, one of the issues, which was talking about Salsoul being a dance-oriented
Oriented.
label, we couldn't totally understand that at the time because we were an R&B group. We believed in singing up-tempo, ballads. They wouldn't push any of the ballads. Back then, if you remember, like people would remember if you drop an album, DJs would get your album. If they heard something on the album that they liked,
Yeah.
they would start playing it.
Mm-hmm.
So now you don't have to go out and promote. If they pick a song, they like it. They're playing it because they like it. You're supposed to jump on that. Just Can't Say Hello started getting airplay in Chicago. They pulled it back.
Why?
Disco.
They wanted to push the fast stuff.
They wanted.
So that was a slow song,
Yeah.
ballad song.
It was,
Yeah.
They
matter of
pulled
fact,
it
we
back.
That happened to
okay.
us on each of our albums.
Perfect Love is another one of them, and There's Something Missing is another great song. Now, Philadelphia had a lot of groups that Blue Magic, Stylistics, Dolphonics. They all sing all ballads. Most of the songs are ballads. And with us, they did the opposite. They flipped it. So we did a lot of fast stuff. But we had a lot of great ballads. A lot of great ballads.
And
And
the
had-
ability to perform.
Well, I'll tell you what we are going to do. And our webpage is coming out soon, a couple weeks. What we did, we highlighted a certain songs we wanted people to hear. So we get 30-second tidbits of the song,
Okay.
of the ballads that we perform that you get a chance to listen to. And there were some very good ballads. I mean, as good as the ones we've heard in our past that the other groups have performed. So people knows for 10%, My Love Is Free. But
So-
believe me, we have more stuff.
We may say ballads, but you say a ballad's good, not trying to be big-headed or nothing. But what used to happen, some of these songs we used to do live. We used to work the clubs, and people would come up and ask us, "Man, what song is that? Where's that song from?" No, that's on our album. Bless you. But we actually.
Can you cut that out?
Damn.
Edit that out.
You ain't coughing.
You okay?
Okay.
All right.
Go ahead.
No, but we actually used to perform a lot of those songs live,
Yeah.
and because of that, we were able to actually help increase some sales. Because people would go out and buy the album to hear those songs.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Bless you.
You all right?
I'm coughing. I'm sneezing. But I think I'm gonna get through it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay, now, how did you feel when the songs you thought should have been played like the ballads and they weren't played? How did you feel?
Confused, not knowing why.
Did
Why
you
not?
ask? Did you ask why?
No, we didn't. We didn't.
They didn't want you guys to go to the ballads. They wanted to keep you in the disco scene. That's what
Yeah,
they
that's what
wanted.
they wanted to push.
That was our theme. That's what they promoted.
The record company had their own motives
Yeah. Okay.
for doing that. They had their own motives, but we just fell victim to their motives.
Okay.
Basically.
Well, now you've been back together for a couple years, or I mean, with
About
the
5 years
newest
now.
members. The newest members. Now, what are your plans now? What are your plans? What are your goals now that you can let Facebook fans and friends
Okay.
know? What are you doing now?
I like to say that we have our own independent record label,
Good.
DE Records LLC,
DE Records.
and
DE Records.
DE
E Records.
Records
Okay.
LLC, and our plan is to release a new single around March, beginning of
Okay.
spring.
Okay.
It is a dance record. You know, what it is, you know what? When you have the ability, and you believe you have the ability to do nice ballads, pretty songs, and you want to display them, you know. But the fact is that we have been labeled and been marketed as a dance group.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
So our
Okay.
plan is hopefully is to release this next song, or maybe next couple songs, singles, as a dance records, and then eventually cross over to some ballads.
Expand your
Expand.
appeal.
Once you can reclaim or get a new audience, because we have to increase our fan base. We must. And increasing our fan base, if we do good dance records, hopefully we can increase the fan base from the 20s to our age. Those who know us and those who know us for the first time. When we did a show at the Lehman Center, a lot of them had heard of us, but some never seen us.
Okay.
And then when they seen us at the Lehman Center, that we did the show for Mike Jacobs, I would dare say that they had a chance to see Double Exposure.
And that was recently. Right?
Recently, yes. And that's the one we had the white suits on that you see. You know.
Those
So
white
that's
suits
yeah.
were killers.
Yeah.
I mean, I looked at that picture. I said, "Ooh, who is this?"
Is that why you sneeze?
That's why I started sneezing.
Joe crazy, y'all. Joe crazy.
But listen, But you're still performing.
Oh yes. Yeah.
What's coming up next as far as performing is concerned?
Well, what we're doing now, we're into the new year, and so our webpage is coming out, and we're going to really promote the group for this new 2019, and we come see what it brings. What it brings.
We have a few, no dates are confirmed immediately. Not, there's a few things that are booked for coming up in the summer, but we have a couple other things that have been talked about that have came up. Nothing's confirmed yet, but
I understand.
the goal is to, like Butch says, to try and release some new product, try to make some noise again, and continue working, improving our stage show, just keeping it going. After the whole package, just keep growing it. Just keep growing it and staying active. And
the thing is, if you like that that picture of us that we showed you,
Yeah, I'm getting ready to show you.
and
See now.
we do that,
These are
and-
really great pictures, and they can.
and those
they
who don't
can-
know us will get the chance to see us.
Now,
Yeah.
these pictures, they're on your website. I've
Yeah,
seen them.
Yes,
They're-
oh yeah.
Yeah.
you can
Oh,
you
yeah.
can also find them
On Facebook page.
on our Facebook page. We have a double exposure Facebook
I think
page.
I think I got this one. This is my favorite, guys.
Yeah.
This
Okay.
is my favorite. This is why I start sneezing.
That was that's in the dressing room. Matter of fact, in Lehman.
That's
Yeah.
a nice picture.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we have guys in blue. Okay.
I forgot where we were.
You forgetting too?
That was at the casino, 360 in
Okay.
Queens.
Okay.
The
And
one in
then
blue,
we have
yeah.
this
That's
is
at Westbury.
excellent. This
Yeah.
is a
Right, I
nice.
remember that.
We was
Look at that.
kicking that. We was kicking that.
Well, I remember them all. It's
We
just
was
like I look at the
kicking.
pictures.
That's really nice.
We're kicking.
Yeah, we got a good response.
So- So hopefully, with these nice pictures and exposure, our webpage what's going to do once you.
What's on the back of this? Oh, my God. Ooh, what's going on there?
There's a story behind that.
I wasn't there. We
Nothing.
had to buy the album to find out what's on the other side.
Hopefully, once we make our webpage responsive, and which will be soon, and with the nice pictures and other things that we have, we're going to do it in phases. Hopefully, it'll catch the eye of the new fans, and then they will.
I'm sure it will. I'm
And-
sure
yeah.
it will. Well, Kenny, I want to ask you, how do you feel now since you've been with them for 2 years?
It'll
Long?
be 2 years soon.
Okay.
It's a great experience. It's a lot different than I thought it would be.
You're not sorry you made the
Oh
decision?
no, not
Okay.
at all. I'm not sorry. It's great training.
Okay.
These two in particular, they're definitely my big brothers. Then they will reel me in and tell me what I need to hear, what I don't want to hear, anything. And I mean, it's a lot of it's work. When I first joined, I met
lot
up
of
with
work.
them and. We sang, and so we got together a few times, and I'm like, okay. And they're like, okay, you can sing, that's great. We sound fine. Let's see if he can move. And
See if you can move.
yeah,
right?
see if I can move. So I had to learn the choreography, and it's not easy. None of it's easy.
It's a lot of work, Doris.
I know it
A
is.
lot of work.
And even when you
A
think
lot of work.
I think I knew the steps,
A lot
but
of
then
work.
you'd have to, a lot of things, how you place your hands, how you're standing, how you take a bow, how you enter, how you exit.
Your other left.
Yep, absolutely. And we have to keep rehearsing in order to keep it tight.
Keep upgrading.
Well,
And it-
how many times do you rehearse a week? How does this rehearsal
Well,
go?
once we get started, we rehearse 2 to 3 times a week. Once, especially like we've taken a break from after Christmas, but once we get started again, which will probably be soon, we'll probably start rehearsing 2 to 3 times a week.
Okay. Well, that's really good. So you're okay with the decision you made,
Absolutely.
and they're fine with the decision they made. So it's like a win-win.
Yep.
Win-win for double exposure.
Yeah, I know I've been in the group for a short period of time, but I don't feel like an outsider
No.
Oh no.
at all. And they look out.
Okay. So
I have
you
a
have
question, Doris,
yes.
for the gentleman. How are you going to handle the change in business and how the business actually runs today? Today we're streaming everything.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So that means that the way that you guys would make any change would be performance-wise as opposed to selling units. Am I right?
Partially, yeah. It's the thing is, there's always something new to learn.
Yeah.
There's
Yes.
always something new to learn. That's one of the things that keeps you going. We don't know everything. Never did. Never will. You know.
But you employ people that do.
Yeah,
I mean, listen, technology has changed drastically. You know, with the social media, you can do so many things before. Where before record companies had to do nothing, you could do.
You can do it
All
yourself.
you
You
need
can
to
run
have
your own
somebody.
business,
All
right?
you need to do is have the right person that know how to do the right job. You know.
I mean, look at
That's
this
what-
right here. There was a point in time where people had to wait for you to come on television to see who you were and find out information about you. Now, boom,
You
you
go
know,
right
just
here,
like that.
and
So
it's
the music will
worldwide.
get out to more people
And
in
I
a
like
faster
that-
format.
See, that's where the problem is as far as the streaming is concerned.
Mhm.
There was a lot of control over the units
Mhm.
because it was a physical record or
Right.
a physical CD.
That's
Mhm.
right.
Right now, you put it out one time, and
There you
it
go.
ripped.
There you go.
Everybody got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I like to think we had the right people in the right places.
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah.
And if we get the response that we're hoping, there's always going to be new people. What happens then? Once you get rolling, then everybody wants to help you.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
But you got to put the effort out first.
You got to put that effort out because they don't want to
They ain't gonna
help
come
you
to your
when
door,
you're
knock
down
on
and
your-
out.
no,
You
they're
got
not
to,
gonna do
you
it.
got to,
You got to work.
you got to work.
You have to show yourself approved. You must show yourself that you're a viable entity, a viable group, and that when people see that you've got something to offer, they'll come and help you.
And although I was talking to Gilbert today, and although, you know, it's a lot of streaming going on and downloading and all that, people are still making money.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now, it's just, I don't know, I guess who you know, what they know, but it's a way to still make money, you
Yes.
know? And it could be from publishing, I don't know. But it's a way. People are still making money.
Sure. Sure.
And not just from performing.
Sure. Sure.
Okay.
Live performance, publishing, marketing, a lot of marketing of products, like merchandise.
Oh, yes, a lot of ways.
There's a lot of ways. You just have to be creative and stay on top of your game.
I think once you call attention to yourself positively, and people start focusing on you now, what happens, you can promote yourself so much that when people come to see it, the hype is bigger than you. You know,
Yeah,
But we
okay.
can't let that happen.
Okay.
That's why we rehearse all the things we do. You cannot let that happen. So big hype when they come to see you. You do not disappoint no one when they see you perform. That you can reach the hype. And so when you have those things going for you, then the marketing and other stuff and selling your merchandise is easy. It's easy. But you can't sell the merchandise if you're not in front of it. You know? What I mean in front of it, you have to really have your act together. And people really have to want to see you.
Yeah, well, it's a rough business.
Oh,
but,
it is rough.
But I
It is.
think once you get, I know once you get in it, your heart is in it. It's hard for you to get out of it.
You know
You just keep going.
What really, with everything involved, the biggest thing that keeps you involved with it is that joy of people appreciating what you're doing out there. When you can get on stage and make people jump up and clap their hands when they
It's a
enjoy
good-
what
it's a
you're
humble
doing.
feeling.
And run up to the
It's a
stage.
humble
Remember
They
that
feeling.
time?
enjoy, when they enjoy what
Still
you're
do it,
doing.
Doris.
They let you know.
They let you know. That's right. They let you know.
They still do it,
And
Doris.
let you know, it's it's a good feeling. It's a very
It's
good
a-
feeling. It's a rewarding feeling,
It
and
is.
it's just it keeps you humble.
It does.
You know, and you really, I mean, you give it back. In other words, like you enjoy it. You enjoy them. They enjoy you. It's fun.
And
You
I
just
re-
enjoy. You have a good
I
time.
remember back in the day we used to go to shows and how mesmerized I was and how much I enjoyed it, you know. And so you try to do the same thing.
I'm trying to do the
The
same
same
thing.
thing.
Well, Gilbert's giving me a 5 minute, but I wanted to ask you before we go, what inspirational words do you have for the youngers, the youngers?
Learn your craft.
Everybody says that.
Learn your
Learn the
craft.
craft.
Learn your craft. When we were recording, there wasn't no computers to, you had to bring it. You had to get in that studio and sing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you bring that same
fix no
thing to
flat
the
notes.
stage. You know what I mean?
No. Well, it's amazing
You
how
had that
when,
tape recorder.
it's amazing. It's
That little
amazing.
mic.
Okay.
That's true. It's amazing how when I remember when we recorded our first time with and we was down in Sigma Sound. It was the Sigma, wasn't it? And somebody said they were showing us the stuff, and somebody said, "Man, that's not right." And they said, "Man, I want y'all to come here and do it." And we sang it, and they said, "Keeping it.
Okay.
Take one.
All right.
Take two. No, take two. We done. We did it."
But also, you know, along the road, don't let it go to your head.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Don't let it go to your head. Treat people right. Look, the very fact that we have been able to make a comeback and achieve what we're doing, the very fact that we're
That's
sitting
great.
here with you
That's
tonight
great.
Yeah.
That's
is
great.
a result of us over the years not burning those bridges.
Mm-hmm.
We've been able to go back across some of those bridges.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We didn't burn them.
No.
And we're so
Yeah.
proud.
Yeah.
You know, we're so proud of you. 50 some years
Yeah.
staying together and still doing it. Oh
Yeah.
God, that's really good, and we're proud of that. Now we want to say hi to the first choice.
Hey,
Guys,
y'all.
okay?
Girls,
Say
we
hi.
here. We finally made it
Hey,
here.
Ursula and Annette. We here.
Thank you,
was
guys.
on our
And
case.
Andre.
Thank
They
you,
was
first
on our
choice,
case,
for
boy.
getting them here.
That's
Thank
our
you
sister
very
group.
much.
That's our sister.
That's
group.
your sister
I love
group.
First
Did you ever
Choice.
perform with them?
Yeah.
You
We
do?
just did the last.
The last gig at Lehman we did.
I'm hoping.
Oh,
Same
okay.
show.
You know, I'm hoping when this single comes out, I'm hoping we're gonna do a lot of things together.
Oh,
Us and
okay.
First. They my sisters.
You hear that? Make that happen.
That's something
We working
had
hard
talked-
to-
we had
hey,
talked
y'all,
about years ago.
We
find-
working real
hopefully
hard
we
to
can
make it happen, y'all. Real hard.
Now, I have a couple things before we end. And I wanted to ask, like all the entertainers out there, how did you deal with your spouse being on the road? How did you deal with that? What did you do? How did you make it work? So what I want you to do is go to my website, and I want you to answer that question. And my website is dhalljamesindieshow.com. Send me an email. I'm interested in knowing, especially the wives.
Yeah, it's probably hard for a young
Yeah,
couple.
I want to know
An
that.
older couple, after men mature, get old enough, I'm just saying real,
Yeah,
you know,
I
and they realize the value of their relationship
Right.
with their wives,
Mhm.
and then it has more meaning to them,
Okay.
a lot of meaning to them, a lot.
Because this would help, just to find out, because there's a lot of young entertainers and their wives are dealing with.
I'm on the market. I'm available.
One more time, look into the camera.
I'm on the market. I'm available. I'm a nice guy.
Okay.
I have references.
And then you can sing. Okay.
And he can dance too.
You can dance
He
too?
can dance.
I like to
Alright.
dance.
And next week we have Winston Gay
Oh,
on
Winston
the
Gay,
show
nice.
at 1 o'clock p.m. And we have Sam Peak at 8 o'clock p.m. And we want you to join us because we have a lot to talk about, right? And we want to travel with them through their musical journey as well. But I want to say thank you again.
Thank you for having
For
us.
all the
Thank you for
information,
having us.
and thank you for providing music to us all these many years and keeping our music alive. Okay?
And I also want to mention about our new single, Hands Up.
Yes, go ahead.
Hands Up. It should be out hopefully in March. So look for it. I will keep in touch with Doris Hall James.
Yes.
And to keep you informed. And also our webpage and our Facebook page, Double Exposure Facebook page. Check it out, and that will lead you to our webpage and let you know about our upcoming single being released, as well as Doris James.
Okay, this has been my friend for a lifetime.
Long time. She was around the corner from me, y'all. We was kids.
And I want to say thank you to our producer, Gilbert F.
Thank you.
Lomax Jr.
All right.
Thank
now.
you very much, and
All
we're
right.
out.
And we are out. Okay, hold on, y'all.
Listen to the artists of today. Travel with them along their way through the Doris Hall James Indie Show. The Doris Hall James Indie Show. Oh. Oh.
Okay.
I was just thinking as
Done.
things
Out.
move,
Okay.
as things move forward, hopefully, as if this thing works the way I hope that it does, then we need to stay more in touch.
Yeah, well,
You know.
you better
You
get
know.
out of here.
Well, we will.
I've been calling you. I've been calling for a lifetime.
Well,
I've
we
been
will.
calling for a lifetime and can't get. But we will.
We will. Definitely will.
You know, because you're welcome to always come back, and you know, and we update
Yes.
update the audience on everything that you're doing, and especially when that single come out.
Oh,
comes out.
absolutely. Absolutely.
When that single comes, because like Facebook, you know, goes all over the world. You know, and what we do now, when this is Thursday, so next Friday, what's that date? What's that?